watching the YM right now. We've got this low of the day that we're pushing down. I'm going to need a divergence, 5 ticks or less. That was 8 ticks away. Too far away. Now, there are traders here that just bought that YM because what I would call this a naked speed flash because there's no support behind the trade. This would be where you would buy in, or maybe down here if you got a chance to. If that's the case, and for those people that do trade what we call naked speed flashes, that's a winner right there. So offensively, this is and this, you see this all the time. This is such a great setup, and this is why people who are maybe a little less conservative than I am will take this trade. But I like to have major support just in case it tries to go against me a little bit. We saw that yesterday where I was able to get out of a trade. I think many of us were able to get out of a trade that because of that ended up just kind of going flat, and we got out break even or small win or small loss. Nice. Yeah. See, so you can set your own set of rules. What we like for people to do is use a very conservative set of rules, which is what you'll learn using the quick start guide and watching the videos. And you start being very conservative. And over time, you can develop your own style that meets your risk tolerance levels, that matches your personality more. You know, I like to trade only maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times a session. So I've tuned my rules to that. Some people may not have the patience or the ability to trade the number of contracts I trade, so they want to trade more often. And you would just tune your rules to those conditions or those needs that you have. But there's still rules, and they're still trading within our style. Okay, so it's still bunt trading. You can be extremely conservative and do this type of trading. You can be extremely aggressive and do this type of trading. Preferably, you're going to end up somewhere in between. Still have an opportunity on the this current bar. There we go. +5. All right. So let's take a look at this. Let's analyze this trade setup. Okay, notice the momentum. The black bar is turning gray, getting lighter, turning white. Strong momentum. We're now getting in a weak area where we've gotten oversold and slam into this support. Oh, where's my speed tick? I thought there was a speed tick on here. Well, it wasn't FT anyway.
Sure, John. Well, my thoughts on it are we didn't have a trade setup. You know, we have multiple indicators firing off. We have lots of different conditions existing, tons of divergence. You know, we have a ricochet, we have a strong line. But that being said, according to my trade plan, none of my trade rules fit that criteria. You know, if I had a rule of, you know, once we have 7 divergent signals, I'll trade it, then it would have matched. But Doesn't matter what I think's going to happen. It just matters that I follow my rules. So that's really all there is to it when it comes to the 6E and having lots of indicators fire off. Our indicators do a great job at reading when a condition exists, and in order for me to take a trade off it, though, I need certain conditions to exist.
So there should be bacon places like Starbucks.
I've got my eyes on the YM. We're gaining some momentum, pushing down the low of the day. We have a speed tick. We're oversold, so I needed divergence, which I got, so I bought the YM. We have the safety net being the low of the day behind it, speed tick. We also have a ricochet and a pullback alert, which isn't part of the setup, but nice to have. If you're new or just visiting, you'll eventually start to take these trade setups off the higher low of the day, the minor support and resistance, and +5. First, you're going to start with those FT lines. Then you can start to practice and tune those rules and start trading those high and low of the days. That was a pretty textbook speed flash right there.
There's just no limit to ways to use bacon.
We have another FT potential on the YM. Same case, bring a stop limit order down. I got filled. I need to see a quick bounce. Price opened above, so we're still good. I'll let price test it a little bit. So now I'm bringing my stop up as I'm watching price hit this bounce. And +5. Nice, Mike. And that YM did exactly what we were, I won't say hoping, more so expecting. That's a strong level. We're pushing down the low of the day. Bar before it wasn't quite the push that we like to see, but we still had some great momentum. We were in the third stage of that mo meter with that light gray. And we require level 4 120 or higher, and that line had no value, which is as strong as it can be. And set that stop limit. We got the bounce, so if price decided to just blast through it, we would have been safe, wouldn't have gotten filled. And if it starts its bounce, bounces up, fills us, continues on, and if it doesn't continue on, I manage it so tight that typically I end up break even. Maybe if I take a loss on it, maybe a -1 or -2. But a lot of times with those bounces, I'm keeping my stop, dragging it up very close, getting what I can, but very often it jumps up and hits that +5 like it did. Good job, John, Miles. And thank you, John. The more you practice, the easier it seems.
GC still valid. I'm going to switch the zone back over there. Momentum's continuing down. I'm not in it. I entered the GC trade at 7.5. There we go. +5. Good job.
How about a doorknob wrapped in bacon? I mean, it's going to be good.